completes this pattern, it could probably potentially be looking out for at least another 100 points on the upside beyond the 1300 mark. So net, there could be a possible upside of another 10% from current levels for ICICI Lombard.
All right. Just a note to all of our viewers, we are facing some technical difficulties in connecting with the WhatsApp number. Apologies. I know that we could not do the same on Friday. It would be great if you could log into our YouTube channel or on Twitter or on Facebook or any of the social media handles and actually write into us, and we will take your query. But for now, let me move on with this one coming in from Mr. Balan. And in the IT space, is it advisable to buy one or two of them? Wants to know the choices between Zensar, HCL Tech and Tech Mahindra, but this is for short to medium term. Kunal?
Well, I would suggest that probably look out for Tech Mahindra as a better alternative from the pack. You can look at maybe a KPIT Tech as well. I think that stock has not moved that much. Looks attractive from long-term play. Even Redington in India is something which I believe looks very attractive on the longer-term charts. And that stock had done reasonably well as well from the 2020 lows for itself. But then, the concentration on these mid-cap IT names have to be once you've exhausted the list of investing into large-cap names. So I think I still believe the likes of TCS and Infosys, they should continue to lead the charge from the entire sector, and then it would be mid-cap names which would probably try and chug along. So you have to first fill up the baskets of the large-cap stocks from the IT space and then look to invest into these mid-caps.
Okay, Rajesh, coming to you, we have a query coming in from Ramesh. Wants to know out of SKF, Timken and Schaeffler, which one of these bearing stocks is recommended fundamentally for a period of 2 years? Which one would you be suggesting?
See, there are all slow movers, low volume stock. So until you are happy with these kind of stock, I would say Timken would be better out of these three.
Right. This next one is coming from Abhilash Roy, and he's writing to us from Kolkata, from your land. Rajesh. He's saying that he's bought HAL at a price of around 2,040 rupees per share, but he wants to know whether he should sell now or hold it for a longer term. All of a sudden, you have so much focus on defense counters, all of them seeing sharp up move. Everyone wants to have a slice of that particular pie. What do you say about HAL? What should Abhilash do?
See, the numbers declared on Friday, if I'm not wrong, were very fantastic. The numbers have gone up like anything, be it bottom line, be it top line, and the kind of focus government has on defense stock and indigenous, that Atmanirbhar Bharat theme. I think these kind of stocks are going to do well in a longer term horizon. For short term, maybe there may be some amount of consolidation because of the run-up they have shown in the last 2-3 quarters. But HAL, BDL, BEL, BML, these kind of stocks which are purely into defense, I think they will give good return even at the current market price, provided you have a long-term horizon.
Kunal, the next query is on Tata Chemicals. Sukanya is holding Tata Chemicals at 825 rupees per share, 50 shares approximately. Would you advise them to continue to hold this for a short term? Well,
absolutely, yes. I think the stock is on the verge of a breakout of its all-time high levels. The gap which had been created last week, if I'm not wrong, for Tata Chemicals, around this 940, 950 mark, that gap has also not been filled, and post that single day gap up move, the stock has seen a further uptick of another 10%. But what you can also do in this meantime is, depending on how much quantity you've bought, you can look to maybe book out 50% profits, but then look to trade this 50% of the quantity which you assumingly book at current levels of say 1110, 1115 for Tata Chemicals. Assuming the stock comes back to say 1070, 1080, you can look to buy back again. I don't believe that the stock would get into a major correction, but the chance of a breakout yet again for Tata Chemicals is much high.
Right. This next one that I have is for you, Rajesh, and this one is from Rajagopalan, and he's bought MSTC at a price of around 315 rupees per share. He's saying that he's asking whether he should average or hold on for the longer term, and he's saying that he can continue to hold on for a couple of years if the prospects are good in this company. What's your take on MSTC? Do you track this one? Do you think it makes sense to stay put with this one for the longer term?
Absolutely not. The fundamentals do not justify the kind of price it has. I don't think there is any point adding to the stock. Rather, one should wait for an opportunity to exit. Any upside should be taken as an opportunity to exit this counter. The fundamentals are not justifying the valuation.
Kunal, we have the next query which is coming in from Indu, and she's asking about Finotex Chemicals. What is the entry price for this one? What should they be looking at, and what should they be expecting from this one?
You said Fine Organics?
No, Finotex Chemical, Finotex, if I'm pronouncing it right.
I'm not sure. I don't track the stock, Vinny, so I'll give it a pass.
Okay. Then I'll take one more. That is on Grasim Industries. Shelja is asking, is it a good time to enter at current market price for short term?
So it seems like, because I think the stock is somehow taking a pause at this 200 DMA for Grasim. It's almost at 1585, 86 levels. Currently, the stock was down much lower on intraday basis as well. So it's trying to somehow find its feet. And when you typically see a stock taking going to a rally, taking a pause, and then retracing a bit, the risk reward emerges to be much better for stocks at those levels. So I think at current levels of 1580 odd for Grasim, I think it's a good zone where you can look to buy.
Okay, this one is coming from, I've kind of missed that query. Okay, this from Tuhin, and he has 70 shares of CDSL, Rajesh, and he's got this particular counter in the IPO allotment. Now he wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it for the longer term or look to exit from CDSL. What's your take on CDSL?
He is the largest TP, I would say, the only listed player, because there are only two players, NSDL and CDSL. NSDL has not been listed. And if you are playing on financial services, I think this is the best play. They have large number of subscribers, depository customers, and I think it's growing like anything. But one should always remember that the kind of growth which we've seen in the last 2 years, it's not going to be replicated very soon. But the numbers have been good. It's a debt-free company, doing very well. I think one should continue to hold.
Kunal, we have the next query, which is on ICICI Bank, and Anand Desai is saying that they are holding 140 shares of ICICI Bank at 713 rupees per share. Should they book profits in this stock, continue to hold? What's the view on for a short to medium term?
Well, short term wise, you can look to maybe book out profits over here for ICICI Bank. I think the stock is almost at 885 or 883, 878 is where the stock is right now. So I think it seems to be now getting into a zone where it would probably take a pause over here. But then if your time horizon is long term, and by that I mean possibly for the next 2 to 3 years, then ICICI Bank is something which you should not be looking to trade. You should just be looking to invest into the stock and look to buy the stock on where a 10, 15% or 20% kind of a average correction. So you keep on accumulating the stock as now it gets into a dip. Because in the last 3 years, there is one trend which has emerged, which has been absolutely clear on the banking index, is the leadership for ICICI Bank as compared to the other private sector names. So there has been a flip-flop for other private sector names, where there's been one stock like HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank which had a good phase of rally, but they could not sustain and be more consistent. ICICI Bank has been the most consistent one. So I think in that regards, it's a good stock to hold on from a long-term play. Short-term wise, you can look to maybe book out some profits over here.
Okay, our next query is coming in from Rajesh's namesake. This is from Rajesh Ved, and he's writing to us on Trident. He's saying he has 300 shares of Trident purchased at around 45 rupees per share. He wants to know if there's any chance of it growing or actually prospering in the long run. What's your take on this one, Rajesh? Trident, bullish on this one?
See, one can continue for a longer term horizon. It's into terry towel business, exporting to US and Europe. The numbers have been okay-ish, I would say. And the export market is doing well with the currency also in favor of exporters. I think the numbers are going to be good. One can continue to hold.
The next query is on HDFC AMC, and this is from Soumitra Joshi, and wants to know whether they should look at selling HDFC AMC and even Standard Life today. What is the view coming in on this one?
Well, I think today's up move is very strong, and typically when you see these kind of strong up moves where the stock tries to challenge its long-term averages, they're bound to take a pause. Now, if it's very, very short-term oriented, by that I mean that you're looking out for say the next 3-4 days, then it's a good zone where you can look to book out profits over here for HDFC AMC. Possibly, the stock may get into a retracement mode, may come back towards 2040-50 levels, and that could be a good again point where you can look to rebuy the stock. So it all depends on your time frame. If it's extremely short term oriented, by that I mean again a couple of days, then you can look to book out profits.
All right, and with that, let's kick start with the rapid fire then. And Kunal, first to you. Prashant is asking about Honeywell Automation, purchase at the levels of 46,000. Some short-term targets that you could share on Honeywell Automation.
So after today's up move, I would expect the stock to hit closer to 45,500 mark over the very near term.
Okay, Rajesh, we have the next query coming in from Chava, and they want to know about Taj GVK. They bought these shares, 700 shares at 168 rupees. Should they continue to hold this for a short period of time, or should they be shifting to Indian Hotels?
Indian Hotels would be a better choice, but the entire hospitality is going to do well. Switch to Indian Hotel, I would say.
Okay, this one is coming from Puneet. He's saying that he has BLS International, 240 is the buy price. Wants to know when can he expect 250 on that counter. Kunal?
See, I doubt it's a bit liquid stock, but I would suggest that you can look to hold on for another week. If the stock is able to come back towards 250, that's a good zone where you can exit.
Okay, Rajesh, we have the next one, which is on the recently listed Rainbow Hospitals. Manish wants to know, should they continue to hold this or sell the stock? It's crossed the IPO price, so what should one be doing with this one?
Get out of this. You have better choices like Apollo Hospital, Narayan Ardala, and the other better names in healthcare sector. Switch to them.
Okay, Anup wants to know about Shobha. Kunal, 850 rupees is the buy price. Short-term view, hold or exit?
Absolutely hold.
Okay. Kunal, coming to you, we have a query coming in, and this one is on Muthoot Finance. Should they continue to actually buy at the current price for a short term?
I would suggest a wait after today's gap down. I think it's a prudent strategy to wait for at least another week.
All right, Mayank wants to know about RPG Life, 2,000 shares purchased at 550 rupees per share. What should he do with this counter, Rajesh?
Hold. If it's a false forward around the 10% from CMP, it can be added. It's a good company, hold.
Okay. Kunal, we have the next query on, this is from Mukil from Bangalore on GSPL. They are holding 1,000 shares at 251. Should they continue to hold this one, and what's the target?
Well, I would suggest that if the stock comes closer to your cost price, which I think should be just about a couple of percentage points away, you can look to book out.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh, for joining us on the show. And once again, let me apologize to all the viewers who've tuned in and writing to us on the WhatsApp. We could not take your queries today, but definitely tomorrow the issue will be resolved and we will be taking your queries. Thank you for bearing with us and being patient as always. We'll be back tomorrow with the queries. But for now, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. We're stay tuned more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.